Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
Lifestyle, wellness, and a damn good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Hit it.
You're listening to the Holistic Life Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
What up? Welcome to the Holistic Life Podcast, where we have a damn good time talking about wellness and creating your healthy lifestyle.
Holla! We are your hosts, Jenny and 2jHolla.
And we're excited to build our listening Ohana beyond our Facebook Live shows as part of the
Say what?
Radio Network family.
So when you hear us talking to people who really aren't there, it's because some of these episodes are pulled from those Facebook Lives that we do. But the message still resonates. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Holistic Life Show. This is like our first Saturday show, I think, right?
Yeah.
Well, apparently you weren't thinking about that.
I wasn't.
I was. So welcome. If you're joining us live, let us know where you're from. Thanks for joining. I'm Jenny.
I'm Jay. What's going on, guys?
And with the show, as always, we want to bring you fun, adventure, excitement, real life stories from our lives that can inspire you to live a better life.
Doing it off the cuff, huh?
Yeah. You like it? I did. All right. So today we are going to chat a little bit.
I think it's important. I mean, we've done something new. Like, we actually scheduled out show topics and titles and stuff and put them in positions where we felt they would build off of each other. And I feel it's important for, like, what we're getting ready to launch in January. People kind of know a little bit about us, you know, kind of, I guess, the origin story. I'm a big comic. Like, I love comics, and like every superhero has an origin story. You know, they kind of had to overcome something before they came into that superhero identity. You know, I kind of feel like that's what we're doing with 2jHolla and all the stuff we're trying to, I want to say, well, I guess create and bring about, you know?
Right.
So I kind of felt it was important that you guys should hear our story. May it be like, I'm going to share a personal story, and Jenny might share something related to wellness. I don't know what she's saying, but I don't know how you feel. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I felt it's important that you guys kind of get to see that. Like, you know, I feel that's like super, super important. Super excited about what we're doing for January. We talked to some people about it, something we also didn't do because we were just kind of in the creating mode and not even thinking about like kind of asking people what they thought about it, you know?
Right.
And like the feedback and some of the things we kept on hearing is like your story. Like, what is your story? Because people want to connect and relate to a story.
Yeah. So sometimes it's tough to share your stories because they can be really deep, intimate, and personal, and potentially embarrassing. And, you know, especially being a high achiever like myself, I don't really want anybody to know about those kind of things. But at the same time, when you're going through it, you want to know that other people go through it too.
Do you really? I mean, I feel you should want to know other people, but like, maybe some people take that upon themselves and they're like, yo, I should have my shit together. Like, I shouldn't be weak or whatever. Some people see that as a weakness and don't use that other people go through it as well as a strength, as, you know, hey, this isn't just me. This is a thing. Like, I can get over this.
I'm just like thinking about what you said, because I mean, I'm going through some stuff right now and I want to act like it's not there, but I'm glad to know that other people went through it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm saying,
what do you guys think? Do you feel that when you're going through something, you want to know other people have gone through it too? Do you look for that? Or do you try to bury whatever it is because that's weak? It doesn't happen. It's not
Right.
me. Like, what do you do? I know I tend to bury it, and I'm learning how to not bury it right now.
Barrel through the feelings.
Just saying. I know. You just turn on the work cap and you go.
Let's just put this bitch in high gear and zoom past everything
Yep.
else.
So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, what story did you want to share? Because mine will probably be a little longer, and I probably should have kind of scripted or bullet printed it out before we went live. But I'll try to sum it up as I don't know, like, I don't want to sum it up and downplay it, but I don't want to like
Do
like,
it. You
hash
start
it
with
out.
yours.
No, let's go with
Oh my
yours.
God. We need to figure this out before I not argue
Let's go
about
with
it on
yours.
live.
Hey, live.
I know, right?
Welcome.
I think for me, one of the biggest things that, because I've always been go, 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 like I've always gone really fast, that I didn't really realize that I was going so far off track, especially like with my health and fitness, because it all started for me when things started really taking a turn. It all started for me when I decided to like cut all of my fun and activity, right? And you guys have heard this before, but that's really where it started, like where I cut softball and I cut friends and I cut everything to make my dream happen.
Which is basically the soul blood of who you are, like softball and friends, because you're a very social person.
Yeah. And I thought that by doing that, I was doing the right thing and I was doing the right activities to make it work. And so that started when I still lived in my house. And those were the times when I was eating boxes of nutty bars and going to different McDonald's and going to different grocery stores because I was afraid that the people there were like judging me or being like, oh, wow, I just saw her a couple days ago buying this sweet. They don't really care. But I was so concerned. I didn't want to be like caught. And I would even like hide like my trash in case someone came over or my brother was there. I can't remember if my brother was living with me at the time or not, but that's kind of where it started. And then I got the opportunity to move to Texas. So that was a distraction. And then Texas became like a whole different thing, like all this new food, all these new experiences. And I just kept on eating and I kept on staying busy and I kept on eating and I kept on eating. And then my job went from regional to national where I was sitting a lot more. And I remember it and I really didn't realize it was fun flying around and it was exciting, but I didn't realize how much my lifestyle had switched until my butt hurt. I'm serious. Like my butt hurt. Remember when I would sit on the planes and it kept really tight and I couldn't figure it out? Mm-hmm. And like my glutes and my hamstrings were like super tight. I couldn't figure it out. Like meanwhile, I'm pounding on the weight. And when I went to Wisconsin, I know, remember when I went to Wisconsin and I got cheese curds for the first time and I was so excited and I never thought I was going to go to Wisconsin again. So the next time that I went, I ate cheese curds every single day. And then I came back and I think you had one of your workouts and I was on a Monday and I felt horrible. Like I couldn't move. It was just bad, man. And I didn't realize how bad it was until it was bad. And sometimes when it gets to that point, you kind of like wake up and look down and you're like, what the hell happened? And you're mad that it happened and you feel like you're caught off guard because you were just doing your thing, staying busy. And then you're just like, oh my God. And then when you decide to do the things you used to want to do, like softball, like I couldn't even move. It hurt so bad to move and I was stumbling and fumbling. I don't know. It's just tough because nobody wants to go through that. But sometimes we find ourselves there. There meaning like you've gained the weight, where you feel like crap, where you can't run, where you don't have energy. Sometimes you are there. And you can't focus on all of the bad things around why you're there. I did. It'll keep you there longer. Because I feel like then what it does is it leads into the fuck it mode. Fuck it, let me get some more. Fuck it. You just keep pulling that card. And it just hurts. Like it's hurtful. It's not healthy. But I think once you realize and you decide you want to take back control, and you helped me. You helped me get out of that. We did things step by step. I slowed down, looked at the overall picture.
And tried to focus on those triggers. Mm-hmm. Because let's be honest. Didn't gain weight overnight. It's those daily choices that we make. And like I always say, I'm not here to judge or tell you what's right or wrong, but and that serviced you for an amount of time. Right. It had its purpose.
It sure did.
But if you're trying to change and go to a next level, what I'm saying? The things that you're doing aren't going to work anymore. They're no longer going to service you. So you're going to have to change. You're going to have to switch it up. You're going to have to do things differently. And two, as life progresses, life goes on, sometimes we look back, even me, I'm looking back to when I was a trainer and doing stuff, oh, I can lift this much. I can do this much. I can do 2 workouts in a day. The stuff I was able to do at 35, I can't do now. Like going into 40, like I have to switch it up because at the time I didn't think about it, but I was putting a lot of damage on my body, that constant pounding or whatever and not like taking care of myself. And I have to do more of that now. But two, we look at that and be like, oh, well, I was able to do this. Why can't I do it now? It's not about being able to do it or not do it. You can't compare yourself Like, even for younger people watching this, you know what I'm saying? You can't compare the 30-year-old you to the 25-year-old you. Like, you've grown, you've learned things, you've done stuff, you've cut off people, you've gained new people, you've gained lessons. So the 25-year-old version of you couldn't do the things that the 30-year-old version of you can do now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's one of the things, though, that mental thing of, well, why can't I? And still, like, not only we talked about in our last show, comparing ourselves to like other people, but even comparing ourselves to who we used to be.
Yeah. And I think sometimes when you're going through those challenges, at least for me, I think that I can always take care of things on my own. And I think it's good to try to figure it out on your own. But when I found out that I kept spiraling and I kept like being annoyed and then disappointed and then eating another box of goodies and then annoyed and then disappointed. And, you know, it's like I would be good for a couple of days and then I'd fall off again. But when I fall off, I'd fall off hardcore. And it's like I never got out of that. And seriously, like, you helped me. You helped me a ton get out of that. And we did things step by step, and you made me like slow down and look at the bigger picture. And you made me realize that it was going to take more than a quick fix.
Yeah.
Which I already knew. It's like, we know these things sometimes, but sometimes you have to like,
we know it intellectually.
Like, right.
Like, it makes sense on paper.
Wrap yourself up in that and really feel it. Right. And that was huge. And I mean, if any of this is resonating with you, or if like you feel the same, or if you're on this journey, then you definitely want to click the link in the description, because then you can get on the insider list, because we're launching our next Levolution program in January. And it's going to go through. What?
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, we're going to go through this. We're going to be able to help. And we've been through it like too many times.
And it's not a thing of, I've been through this before. Like, life isn't about perfection. Like, there's always going to be some new shit that pops up that's going to challenge you. And that's the whole point of, in my opinion, living. That's the whole point of growth. Because, like, if you knew it all, if you were able to take care of it all, why are you still here? Like, there's no point.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're going to go through things. Life is going to happen. There's going to be times where something's going to pop up and just knock you on your ass.
Yeah.
And the whole point is, like, what are you choosing to do? Are you going to choose to stay down there? Or are you going to choose to get up? And it's not a matter of how long you stay down there. The whole thing about it is getting up. Like, eventually being like, okay, you know what? And sometimes some people get to it quicker because they're like, all right, this is a little setback. Okay, mm-hmm. This is what it is. I don't have to stay here. Let's go. Some other people take a little longer. Like, it's a part of the process, and we can't rush the process.
Yeah, I agree. So we're already at 3:15. You said your story's long. What do you want to do?
Let's run with it. Let's run with it. If we go a little over, we go a little over. I feel this is a very good show for 15 minutes. Yeah, you shared a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, your turn.
All right.
Are you nervous?
No, not really. It's definitely a personal type of thing, and I don't really, like, people who know me kind of know me, which is twofold, because, like, for what I'm about to share, like, I share it and people say, like, I forget that you've been through this sometimes because of the way that you carry yourself. But it's like, I don't like to share it because I still kind of struggle with it at times. But I was born, like, visually impaired. Like, I've had more eye surgeries than probably most people will have to have in their lifetime. Like, I think if my mom's watching, she'll probably correct me, but I think I had 9 eye surgeries before I was 1 year old. So basically, I was born with cataracts. I just thought that was gross. I'm sorry. my bad. If you saw that, and if you didn't, don't try to rewind and see what happened. But anyway, 9 surgeries before the age of 1. I had cataracts, so basically they had to go in and remove the lenses from my eyes. And if you know how the eye works, you have lenses or whatever. So basically this limited my vision, and I had to wear these thick trifocal glasses for literally the majority of my life. You know, I was a kid. I didn't know anything. But, you know, kids are truthful. Kids are ruthless. I was ridiculed. I was, like, bullied. Honestly pondered suicide at a point. So
glad you didn't.
Was in a dark place. Mm-hmm. Like, I was in a dark place. But luckily for me, like, my family is like my backbone. My family is my support system. My mother my dad, my sister, both my sisters, my aunts, my cousins. Like, I just have a strong support system. Like, immediate family for me, which was like my mom, my sister, my dad, my aunts, and like first cousins. Like, they treated me like a normal person. Not to say I wasn't normal, but the glasses, the vision, they didn't let that hinder me. And I think that's a strong reason why I am who I am, because like my mother and my father, and like even my sister, my cousin, they didn't let me use it as a hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't remember this, but my cousins would tell you, even my sister, like when people would make fun of me, like my cousins would step in and like fight for real. They were like, yo, you're not gonna mess with them. Yeah. Like, I don't remember it. There's a lot of this I don't remember, and I just kind of hear it when my mom is talking about it. But all the things like she did when I was younger, to like, I would have to go to school and they had these large print books, because I still do this sometimes. If I'm like on a computer or my phone, like I have to have it close so I can see. So they had these large print books to make it easier. But I'm the only kid with this big, like literally this thing was huge, like huge. And it was the textbook. Other kids would have a textbook and I would have like 3 volumes of this big ass thing, pulling that out in the class.
Brutal, I'm sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the kids probably were ruthless.
So I wouldn't do it. There were times I broke my glasses on purpose because I didn't want to wear them, because like I was bullied, I was ridiculed, all this stuff. Like, knowing how expensive glasses are now, Mom, I'm sorry. I didn't know any better. My bad. But yeah, literally, I would like take them off and stomp them, and my glasses broke. Like, damn, it's third pair this month. What the fuck? What are you doing? What's going on? It wasn't until, well, I can't say wasn't until, but this started for me like I couldn't be home by myself. So my sister kind of had to babysit. So wherever like she went, I would have to go. So she took me to the gym around 15, and that became like my safe haven. That became my refuge. I would put all my frustration, my anger, all this stuff into like lifting weights, whatever. And so I was a skinny kid. But high school, I was chiseled and cut or whatever. So, you ain't gonna fuck with me. Like,
right.
I mean, you could be like, ha, you know what? I'm not gonna mess with him. He looks like he could probably choke me and like put me to sleep, whatever. But my entire 4 years of high school, the first 3 years of high school, I spent outside on the pull-up bar during lunch working out, because I didn't want to be around other people, because I didn't want to be stared at. Like, and that's still a big pet peeve for me, for people to just like sit and look at me and just like stare. And I feel more comfortable if you come up and say, hey man, I noticed something with your eyes. What's up? What's wrong? Instead of just like stare. But 2, I could have some crap in my eye, or, some toothpaste on my mouth that I didn't think. But it's once again, like that, those triggers, like I've dealt with that. And like I said, it's one of the things I'm still wrestling with. I wrestled with that for so long. It's still there. But the biggest thing is to like catch it while it's there, and it is what it is. Let's move on. But going through all that, having that support system, having those things to help me, it wasn't just like, oh, I wanted to lose weight, because I was never that kid. I did want to get bigger. I did want to look a certain way. But, when I got into that, like going in and being around people who weren't working out for the size, but they were working out for the mental aspect of it. When I started tuning into that and vibing on that frequency, it kind of changed my mind, my life, everything. And that's my reason for like doing this for other people. So it goes beyond the weight. It goes beyond like the nutrition. It goes like, I want to show people how to take control of their lives. Like, it's possible.
Yeah.
I felt long. Sorry, guys.
No.
But that's the story. Cancel.
She liked it too. So when those triggers come up now, what do you do? How do you deal with them?
It depends on the mind state I'm in. To be totally honest, it depends on the mind state I'm in. Some days I just say, well, that person isn't man or woman enough to come up and ask me what's going on. They're petty, or, they don't want to offend me, but standing across and just staring is offense too, in a way.
Yeah.
But they don't know any better. So I can't put it on them, and reminding myself, like, I choose how I can react.
Yeah. Can I tell the story about Colorado?
Sure, I don't remember the story of Colorado. Were we at the marshmallow thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Making sure.
Whatever.
Yeah, so we were at Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado, and we went to see Marshmallow thing. You didn't eat marshmallows, but we watched Marshmallow like the DJ. And, you know, we're dancing, we're having a good time. And like, we were definitely like some of the older people there.
You were probably the oldest people there.
We're not that old. So, you know, we're hanging out, we're having a good time. And these girls come up and they're like, they whispered to me, they're like, dude, I want what he's on. I want the drug that he's on. And I was like, he's not on the drugs. He's got a vision impairment. And they were like mortified, which is crazy because think about that, right? Like people think whatever they think, good, bad, or indifferent. I mean, this goes to your story, but this could go to anything in life.
Yep.
Right. And so Jay's like, oh, what'd she ask you? And I was like, uh-oh, like, am I opening up a huge can of worms here by sharing? Like, do I share? Do I not share? So I shared with you. And what was your reaction?
I don't remember. I'll be totally honest with you. I don't remember.
I know you were pretty like, just like, what? Okay, well, whatever. You just laugh. And then she felt really bad and wanted to buy him a drink. And at that point, it was just kind of like, I'm like, oh, let me buy him a drink. Let me buy him a drink. And it was like, no, whatever. Just get out of here. You know?
Right.
But I think you handled it.
Don't make it more obvious than it already is. Like, it is what it is. It's cool. Let's laugh.
Yeah.
I don't need a drink. I appreciate you. But it's all right.
When I share that story, because I just think about like all of this, all of your mindset, all the triggers, all the things, even though you may have come to a solution, things are still going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like for me, when I'm feeling very like out of whack, I want sweets. That is a trigger for me. Actually, the trigger's not the sweets. The trigger is how I'm feeling.
Right. The trigger's how I'm feeling, but somewhere you resolve that the sweets will fix it.
Right. Which it doesn't, because then it just feeds into the cycle. Right. So, I mean, in that moment, you could have chose to feed into the cycle, feed into the cycle, and then etc. So, your turn.
No, but yeah, I think that's our time. So second pop-up show. We wanted to do this in Fort Lauderdale, but life happens. Good thing it's a pop-up
earlier
show.
This week, we're going to do it in Fort Lauderdale.
Good thing it's a pop-up show. So we have the frequency. Now we're in our living room. But this week, we're going to be somewhere else special. We promise. We're going to have a show. We should find a really cool spot to do the show.
You totally should. I'm on board.
We're going to find a really cool spot to do the show. If you want to be reminded about the show, since they're pop-up shows, you're going to want to get on our insiders list. I put the link in the description. And also join the Rich and Wealthy group, because we share a little bit more stuff in that. Sometimes after the show, this is a really good show. We just decided to stick with this one. We do after parties. That's where we have the after party. So it's just like people are really like into it, and they're like, yeah, and they're engaged. And we're like, yo, we hit this 20-minute mark. Like, we're going to the group. Like,
which we'll find out with the pop-up shows, because we're doing them different days, different times. We're really going to see like what times and what days are the most engaging.
And we'll figure it out. The Next Levolution program is launching in January. Like, this is, I'm going to use what you say about your job. This is a program that's going to, and I forgot the freaking word, B word, when we talk about the dental industry.
Disrupt.
Yes. This program is going to disrupt the health and wellness industry in a good way. Like, the industry needs a change, and I feel like what we have going on is going to spark that change. So super excited. You're going to want to get on the wait list about that.
All right, guys. See you soon.
Sorry, it was 30 minutes.
No, we made 28. Sweet. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.
You can subscribe to the Holistic Life Podcast from your favorite streaming platform. And don't forget to check out 2jHolla.com to stay in the know as an official 2JH insider. Mahalo for tuning in. And until next time, that's our show.